Hi, Jill.
Hey, Stephen, how are you?
Welcome to the package.
Thank you very much. Happy to be here.
It's been a long, 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 long time in the making, but I think we're just about done with it. I'm happy to have you involved in the customer service chapter.
Great. Thank you.
So I understand that there's a lot of things that you want to talk about in this customer service chapter, and I have to tell you, I am so glad that you're addressing the things and not me for a lot of reasons. But I'm not the best customer service person on the planet. You are, and that's what matters.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So I have a couple of questions for you right in the beginning here on this stuff, and then I'm gonna turn it over to you.
Okay. I like it. I like it that you have a list of questions and I kind of made some notes to go with it. So if you want to go with that format, it's great for me and then just interrupt me,
Okay.
as it goes. So, and if I glance over, it's because I made a bunch of notes and I want to share a bunch of good stuff. So,
This is so important. So that's really my first kickoff question on this whole thing. I mean, why do you think this is so important? I mean, I think it's a make or break situation for any business, not just a land business, but especially on the internet, because I don't think there's a lot of real customer service that happens, for any product on the internet.
not just the internet. Think about calling a bank nowadays.
Oh, okay. So why is this so important?
Well, I mean, it's true. It'll make or break your business. I mean, how many decisions do you make, consciously or subconsciously because of customer service? I mean, you don't realize it, but you do.
Right.
You walk out of an establishment feeling good about your purchase, even if you and I have talked about this in the past. I'm going to spend a little more for something to get a quality thing and good customer service to go along with it
Right.
all day long, even down to silly things like yogurt with the kids. If I go somewhere and they recognize me and they use my name and things like that, I'm gonna go back there, and it may be subconsciously, but it makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
So yeah.
The feedback that we're getting on the whole Land Academy effort from new students and from customers about that specifically, not necessarily the land. I'm kind of, as you know, I'm not as involved in the land piece, excuse me, anymore as I am Land Academy, and I just know that we're obviously giving everyone the attention that they expect, or we're going above and beyond that, because all I keep hearing is positive, great things about, yeah, Jill addressed this and really good stuff. So
I'm
it's
sorry, I'm
important.
just cracking up about what's going on in the background behind you because
Really?
I'm
Can you see
starting
it?
to see stuff. Oh yeah, it's coming right now. He's
Who
about
knows?
to blow the back patio.
We're either going to keep this in here because you know what? This is real life. This is just
good.
like the land business. You can't predict what's going to happen. You got to stick
Yeah,
with it.
you
You got to
really
laugh about it and
Oh
get
yeah.
your way through it. I don't
We're
know.
about to see the landscaper over your shoulder. I'll tell you when he's there. Oh, there he is. Look.
You know what? You can't fault these guys. They're hardworking guys.
Oh,
So
this
you know
is
what? It's
great.
111 out today. It's 111 degrees out right now. I can see the thermometer, and this guy's out there kicking it.
Shucks. Oh, these guys got to be dying. Hand him a water.
I should handle water. I will as soon as we're. I'll track him down.
Yeah.
Should I do it on the camera? Hold on, I'll do it on the camera. Watch.
Okay, go get a water. Was he done? Run, run. Oh gosh, this is hilarious. Well, everyone, as you can see, it's nice and quiet here at my office. Oh, I hope they get in the camera. I hope they wave over there. This is going to be good. Oh, good. Okay. Door open. He's stepping outside. Bring him into the camera, Steven. Oh, dude, he took him water, but we didn't get to see it. Make him wave. Well, that was really nice.
Are you getting
Yeah.
this stuff?
No, and the
you
only
see
thing was I wish I
it?
could have seen him. You should have had him step over and wave.
Hold on.
I wish you would have had him
see
step
it
over.
now?
Oh, wait. Oh, there he is.
He's
Nice.
got the water. Oh, I should have had him wave. You're right.
Yeah, see, I wanted you to hand it to him behind you there and wave. That's awesome.
Does he have the water?
I'm sure
Alright,
he
he was super appreciative.
does. That was really nice. Yeah, the guy's got to be dying out
Yeah,
there.
exactly.
So, very cool. Okay, back to where we were.
All right, what are we talking about? Hey, that's customer service right there. I'm
You
helping the
know
guy.
what? Hey,
It's
Steven.
that stuff like that that makes a huge difference.
Do you know what? That guy's going to remember that. You're going to have the cleanest patio of anyone all
Right,
the time. He's going to
right,
spend an extra 5 minutes on that patio every time because you did that,
right,
that little thing. There we go. Perfect customer service example, Stephen. Thank
right.
you.
You can't script this. You
Good.
can't you can't script this stuff. And
No, no. So you asked me why it's important, and I think a couple things to talk about is number one, everyone is your customer, clearly. You know, in some respect, you're my customer and I'm your customer too. I mean, there's things that we do back and forth.
like business partners.
Sure. Well,
You mean as because we're business partners?
no, I mean like Land Stay is a
Oh
customer
yeah,
of Land Academy,
right. Yeah.
and because we do things together, and Land Academy is a customer of Land Stay.
Hmm.
And even there's things that you need from me, you know, and I need from you, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody's your customer, you
Right.
know, when you're in business.
Hmm.
So that's something I think. And I love customer service. I've been doing it forever, back from my years at American Airlines to, my education background and all that. I had a lot of training and a lot of experience, and I love working with people. It just comes naturally to me. It doesn't for everyone, I'm sure about that. So I think part of this is for me to share some of my tips and secrets. So if it doesn't come naturally for you, that's okay. And I've got some little things like, that will help you. So, um,
My experience has been in this business, and it comes from I have an investment banking background. Most of the companies that I've worked with are bifurcated, so there's a buy side and a sell side, and I've always been on the buy side. I've always been better at buying real estate than selling it, and I'm not. That's not to say I always got around that because I bought it so cheap they had to buy it from me.
right.
So I guess that might be a tiny bit off topic here, but I guess what I'm trying to say is, if you're a student and you have to do both,
Hmm.
and you have to succeed at both. But if you're better at one or the other, that's okay.
That's
Because if
okay.
you're really good at it, you're going to find somebody to do the other side of it for you at some
Yep.
point, like we have. You
Right.
know. So,
Exactly.
but I did do. I had all. I like to tell everybody I had all of these jobs in the
Hmm.
beginning by myself, sitting there at my coffee table. Some of them I liked, some of them I didn't. And
That's right.
eventually, the ones that when I had enough money, I found people to do the stuff that I didn't like. But I always continue to buy it. So
Exactly.
stick with it. That's my point. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, no, it's all good stuff. Yeah, my background is more the sales background, but I've always liked the negotiating, buying things in life, just based on buying a home or cars or whatever like that. Always kind of fell on me, and I now get to do it for land stay, and I
Hmm.
love that too.
What's that like? To
It's
buy something you
it's
know you're going to make 3 times the money on overnight.
it is the best felony-free high on the planet. It's like
Have you
yeah.
ever been arrested, Jill?
No, I've never been arrested,
Oh,
and
okay.
I'm not going to ask you that question.
Thank you.
So you're welcome. No, I have never been arrested. So, but it's the best. It's the best thing because that's it's not to. I mean, not to bring up other things in the package, but what we've covered a lot is you win when you buy it.
Yeah.
If you don't buy it right, forget it. And I'll tell you right now, I have an acquisition that I just emailed the guy back before we talked, and I sent him a number, and he responded with another number, and I wasn't even really sure we really wanted this one in the first place, so I wrote him back, and I just said, I'm sorry, that was my top number. So, and if
Can
you
you
want to
tell us
walk, you can walk.
tell us what the deal is, please?
2 acres, Mojave County, Arizona.
Yeah, I love Mojave County. I love
No
it.
access to
Love
speak of.
Mojave County is 25 miles from Las Vegas, so it sells really well. Go ahead. I love Mojave.
So, had it in the family for years. Dad passed on. Typical thing. It's in the trust. Nobody wants it. When he originally called me, we were joking about it, and I have all the phone calls if you want to listen to them or
Hmm.
insert them.
Yeah.
We laughed about it because I said, "Well, give me an," and he was a former realtor. I said, "All right, give me a number. What do you think?" And he said, $1 million. I said, "That's funny," because he brought up his
Oh,
salesman
I
thing.
remember this deal.
That guy and the
I
guy's,
did the map on this originally.
yeah,
It
you
was like
did.
a week ago.
Yep. And I sent him the map, and that was so beneficial too.
Right.
That's another thing that we can share down the road as a sales thing or
Yeah.
a acquisition. Actually, it's more of an acquisition thing.
Yeah. It's in there. It's in the package.
Oh, it is good
Yeah.
that you
Do
did a
you know?
video that I can
Yeah.
show him.
Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Tell me. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I keep
So yeah, you
interrupting you.
did a video that I could share with him to show here's really the property and here's why I'm only offering
Hmm.
X, is why. So and that's why. So he replied back this morning and said, "Would you consider this?" So, and it's not a lot of money. And I replied, "I'm not going to give numbers because I'm probably going to end up with it and I'm going to sell it and I don't want to share my numbers." So,
Come on, just tell us, Jill.
no.
The chances of the
All
person who
right.
it's just why? Because it is so much more beneficial. So
All
what's the
right.
worst thing? The worst thing that can happen is, and I'm not.
All right,
The
you guys
worst.
know what I spent. All right, I
What's the
told the guy
worst thing? We're
yesterday,
teaching everybody how to do this.
$500 net to him. And that's all I'm going to do. I'm going to do all the paperwork. I'll get the notary, my usual thing. I'll pay for the notary. I'll pay for, you know, get the cashier's check delivered, all the post, everything involved, and he's going to walk away with a $500 cashier's check. Take the whole family out for dinner. That's what you guys got, kind of thing. So he replied and said, "All right, I talked to my brothers and sisters because originally he wanted 5,000. By the way, everyone, he came back with the number 5,000. I sent him that video and said 500.
That video worked.
It did. And he said, I talked to everybody. Would you consider 1,000? And based on, our conversation, that's what I said. I wrote him back and I said, you know what? I'm sorry. I wasn't even sure I wanted to buy
Yeah.
this one in the first place, which is true. With 500, I might be able to do something with it, or I'm not going to lose out that much because sometimes that happens. Sometimes I buy things and I don't make a lot. So replied back and I said,
Right.
I'm sorry. 500 is if I was going to buy it, it would be 500. Otherwise, I'm not going to buy it.
I'm
So,
gonna roll. I'm gonna roll that video that I did into what we're doing here, so that while they're watching, well, whoever's watching this, they can see the map and how we did it. Go ahead.
okay. No, that's great. So yeah, I haven't heard. Hang on a minute. I'll check right now and see if I've
Yeah,
got
there's no
it.
way what we're doing right now is gonna get into the package because I can tell right now this is gonna be a video podcast because about customer service.
Okay. What'd you say? I'm sorry.
It's all right. Go ahead. Just keep
Oh,
going.
this isn't going to make
It's
the
just
package.
no because and it's not. It's great.
Oh,
Jill, how many times has this happened to you and I? We get interrupted by our successes while we're filming stuff.
well, how are we going to do this then?
We're going to do it another day.
Okay,
This is
all
going to
right.
be this week's podcast.
Okay, guys. All right. Well, let's just do that.
Yeah.
Okay, I like this. All right, this is just going to be the podcast, and then we'll get
Yeah.
into all the other stuff that I had
Yeah,
written down in notes and all that later.
because I really think,
Oh,
in the actual education DVD uh, package, it kind of needs to be like, you know, for customer service, here's bullet point A, here's bullet point B, here's bullet point C, and
true.
you got to make sure you do this, make sure you do this, make sure you do this. I don't know. Maybe this is more interesting. Maybe we'll put it in the back, like at the bone. There's a whole bonus DVD that I've done on outtakes and some other stuff. Maybe we'll put it back there. And as long as people are learning, who knows? I don't know.
You know what? I like this. I think this is
Okay.
a good podcast for this week because we haven't done one since our AZ88 lunch last week.
Right.
So I like, hey, let's just make this podcast this week, and I got a little bit of stuff out there. I have a lot more to share. Hey, you know what else? This is a little bit what's coming in the package. So if you like what you're
That's
hearing
what I was
right
thinking.
now, to everyone, you're going to crack up when you sit down and
This,
let us finally get our acts together for the package.
this is a failed attempt at doing a chapter in the
Right.
package. So imagine what the actual successful the end product is.
Right.
Imagine how great that is.
And I'd like to add the reason I have been spending a lot of time on this today, but I have so many calls to return, it's not even funny.
Okay, so
But
tell us about that. That's
just
what
so
I want
you
to hear.
know, yeah, I want everybody to know that we put a lot into this package and even my
Yeah.
parts too. Steven sent me some stuff this morning, actually last week. I've been working on it this week, spent hours on it this morning. I'm ready to deliver. It's going to be good.
Talking to the camera. Go ahead. I'll be back in just
So,
1 second.
okay. I anyway, so here's a couple things of what's coming in my customer service section. So I'll share that with you guys. And sorry why I look at my notes. So basically, why it's important, talking about who your customers are. A lot of the stuff You think people know, but they don't know. You know, there's a lot of little tricks that you can learn about having to deal with customers and making them at ease and gaining their trust. I talk about a lot about that. I talk about little tips and things that I've learned when you are dealing with the county and people like that. I'm just kind of sharing some stuff that's in the package that I cover so that everybody knows what's coming. Setting expectations for yourself and your customers. The difference between sales and customer service. How to build a great pipeline of really good, strong customers that you can call upon for years and years to come, which there are a few that I have, everyone, that I know right away when I get a certain property in, I know who's going to love it, and I just pick up the phone. I don't even have to advertise it. I don't even have, I haven't even completed the sale yet, and I'm calling them up
Yeah.
saying, all right, I just got it. It's 2 acres. I know you love this stuff. Let's talk. And half the time, I'm not even going to, then when as I'm purchasing it, my
Yeah.
name's not even going to be on the deed. I'm going to go straight from my
Right.
seller right to my A list, and it goes right on, and I just cash check in the middle. Is that
No, I
okay
got
to
an
share?
absolutely. I mean, you can share everything. I got
Okay.
along those lines, and I want to get back to this eBay situation that we talked about right before we sat down doing this. But we're becoming part of the A list for some of our students. I've received a couple of emails from two separate people, let's say over the last 2 weeks, where they're taking our advice on this A list thing from podcasts and everything, and they're sending us deals first as buyers so we could buy it, so
Yep.
because they know we're term sellers and they're not to the point where they're term sellers yet. They're just accumulating a bunch of cash. So
Right.
man, it's you you start to develop a pretty tight knit group, and I know who you're talking about. There's probably 10 guys, maybe five or 10 guys, and there's no issue. They trust us so much, there's just
Mhm.
no issues. They send
No
us
issues.
checks, and we send them checks sometimes, and there's just
Right.
it doesn't get discussed anymore whether or not
Mm-mm.
something bad's going to happen. So,
Exactly.
all right,
It's
tell us, please. I'm sorry, I'm totally sidetracking you. This is such a good story. Tell us about this guy that bought this piece of property from us on eBay.
Oh yeah. Okay. So this is off the charts awesome. So let me pull this up here. Okay. So last month had a awesome what can I share where it was?
I think you can share anything, Jill. Honestly,
Okay.
um, yeah, you don't even have to ask. I think I started to say this earlier. The worst thing that can happen is uh, the person calls us and says, "Why are you disclosing my stuff?" Not just we don't even talk about their last names.
No,
But,
I'm not saying the names.
oh my gosh, I paid 10 times more. I mean, did you ever listen to a radio show like these radio personalities, and they say, "Look, this show is for the listeners, not the caller."
Right.
So in the microscopic chance we upset one person, I mean, there's thousands and thousands of people now that are listen to this stuff and watch this stuff that we're helping. So I would
Hmm.
rather, yeah, the answer is yes, disclose away.
Okay.
Just don't use any last names.
Deal.
And,
Okay.
and please don't swear. Really never swear. I've never heard you swear. I don't even know why I said that.
It's so funny you say that. That's because you had one podcast that you couldn't use from a good friend of ours that was so you had to bleep out more than that you could use, so that ended up not making it. So
I spent
we won't throw Carl under the bus.
I spent
Thanks.
more
I didn't
time
use his last name.
editing that podcast than I did actually doing the podcast itself.
Did
Like
that even
the
air?
bleep,
Did you?
I need a bleep button. No, it
Did
didn't
you?
air because I
Oh
can't.
man.
It's just one big half-hour bleep.
Oh. Next time, because he's got a lot of good information.
I
I'm
know.
sure he's a great guy.
No, I talked and we joked about it.
I wish
I'll
we
have
could
him on
use
again.
it.
I'll have him on.
All right. That was so good. All right. So here's my other fantastic story this week. That was an acquisition one. This is a sales one, which is blowing up into something fantastic. So California Pines property that we acquired. Long story short, in a package of things where it was estate was being settled and it was pretty much given to us. So I spent between $100 and $200 getting this deal done. So I got this great piece of property, put it on eBay, $1, no reserve, 30-day auction. It closed in May, and great guy, paid immediately. One of our beautiful eBay customers. They're not always that perfect, let me tell you all. We'll share that in the package. But this guy was really perfect, great communication, paid promptly, easy deal. He ended up buying it for, with everything done, it was at like $1,050. So I put out $100, got back 1,000.
So we made 10 times on it.
Yes, we did. Not too bad.
And
I'm happy with that.
we made 10 times what we paid in, I don't know what,
30
less than a month.
Yeah, it was great. It, and it was a great piece of property
It's an
too,
awesome piece
by
of
the
property.
way.
I remember
It's a
it. I did the math
gorgeous
on it.
subdivision. Yeah, it has paved roads,
Yeah.
homes across the street. I mean, there's utilities at the lot line. There's like a clubhouse scenario there. There's a lake right there. I mean, it's really gorgeous. I was kind of one of those that was kind of hard to get rid of. I'm like, that's a really nice area.
I got a
You know
really
what?
funny story about Calpines when we're done with this. Because I've been to Calpines twice. So I'm going to tell you
Okay.
a crazy backwoods story. Go ahead.
It looks gorgeous.
Yeah.
So beautiful trees and green and all kinds of great stuff. So anyway, he's feeling really good about his purchase. So I just get this message today out, and it's been a couple of weeks. He said, "Hey, just reaching out to me. Hi, I got the lot recorded. Thanks. Thanks. Now I want to try and buy some more. Can you send me the PDF file on how to do it?" Which I'm thinking, all right, he wants to learn what we're doing in the ebook. So I'm like, okay. He said,
Oh,
so I'm 68 years old. I could use some income when I retire. Check this out. I have a coworker going to look at the lot. He offered me 2,500 cash. Okay, everyone, he paid 1,050 for it. I need the seed money.
double
I
his money.
think had a rough life, will be okay, but could have done better saving. Thanks again.
Rough life.
Isn't that great, Richard?
I had a
So
rough life. I deserve to double my money in a week.
so yeah, fantastic. So I'm like, this is awesome. So I mean, how great is that? And this is less than, I mean, I think the auction closed, I don't know, the 20, I want to say I had a note that May 27th. Oh, it ended on May 25th. Okay, the auction ended on May 25th, everyone. He's emailing me this on June 18th. Less than 30 days, he just doubled his money. How it doesn't get any better than that.
No.
So, do you want to hear my
It does.
reply?
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely. I want to hear the whole thing. This is fantastic. Because nobody, Jill, because I'll tell you, this happens to us multiple times a week. Many,
Does.
many times a week,
Does.
and no one believes me.
I know.
They're like, what are you talking about? You double your money in 2 weeks.
Exactly.
Go ahead. I want to absolutely hear your reply.
Okay, so I wrote back. I said, "Hi, Richard. I love hearing that you're about to make more than double your money on this purchase. That is fantastic. Never too late to start building up your retirement fund. As you can see, real estate is a good way with often a much better return rate. Can you beat 250%?" I said, "Everyone is going to fall over when you share that figure."
It's awesome.
I said, "Happy to help you learn more. Go to my Landstay website and it will link you to the education one. Get the free ebook for now and more coming soon. Thanks, Jill." So that's what I wrote back. I am so excited to hear that. So what?
That's a perfect classic story of why we put Land Academy together. We could have very comfortably just gone along in our lives. In
Hmm.
fact, it'd be a lot easier just to go along in our lives doing, buying and selling land.
Hmm.
God knows we're doing pretty well at it.
Hmm.
But instead, we decided to ridiculously inconvenience both of our lives collectively and establish Land Academy to share this with everybody.
Thank you.
I've questioned that a few times along
Thanks
the
for
way.
being
There were
honest.
rough spots. Well, we're coming up on the last few weeks of getting the package released, and
I
so
know.
I mean, God, I never thought I would learn this much.
I
I wanted
know.
to stop learning like 4 years ago.
I
Like,
know.
not learn anything.
Exactly.
This is a great example of
Hmm.
why not? I think
Well,
everybody deserves a shot at making a bunch of money like this, don't you?
well, yeah, and it ties into uh, the, I lost that thought. Um, totally lost that thought.
Want me to tell
But
my Cal Pine story now?
tell your Cowpine story,
All right,
please.
so Cal Pines is in Modoc County, California. It's gorgeous, tall pine trees, northeast of San Francisco, and it's adjacent to, I think, or it's either adjacent to or it's one county in from Oregon. It's that far north. So I'm up there one time with my engineer Ethan. This is a lot of years ago, and this is the first time I've been to Cal Pines. He's been there before. So, and it's all set up into units. So it's a big, huge master plan subdivision. There's thousands and thousands of lots there. So we're up there taking pictures of each lot that we have. We bought like 50 or 100 lots. I don't remember. And so unit one is very urban, and it's like the lot that we just sold to this guy. It's right close to the clubhouse and all that stuff. But as you go further back into the units, there's 20 or 30 units. You get way back there. There's an HOA there, so they maintain the rows. It's pretty easy to get through there. So there's this guy who bought this piece of property way like in unit 30, as far back as you can get, tall pine trees and stuff. And, we're in this rental 4-wheel drive thing, going just barreling through that like 80 to 90 miles an hour because we want to take these pictures and be done with this.
I just thought that's how you normally drive, which is true.
Our students are going to realize, after 2 days of taking pictures, that it's kind of loses its charm.
Yeah.
Being in the wilderness and stuff, sleeping in the car. So anyway, we're barreling through this thing, trying to get these pictures done, and this guy has this trap for people driving because he's the only guy out there. He has this car trap because he's got 100 dogs running around and stuff, and I don't know, he's living off the land. I'm trying to paint a picture here, Grizzly Adams and stuff, big beard.
Yes.
So we're barreling through this thing, and he's got these mounds and mounds and mounds of like loose dirt. So you don't kill yourself when you hit it, but it really slows you down. And sure enough, we get stuck, and the guy's got a shotgun in his hand. I wish I would have filmed all this stuff back then. It was a lot of years ago, but we got out of it. But my point is, we have a lot of customers. That image is still in my head. I think they just want to be off the grid, in the middle of nowhere.
Yes.
The more popular that YouTube gets, the more these guys get their own channel, and they can talk about, that kind of stuff. So, be prepared for anything when you go shoot pictures.
Oh,
that's the moral of the story.
That's really good. So you got out of it okay?
We did.
Did you have to pay the guy?
No, we didn't.
Okay.
No, I had to pay a guy
making sure you weren't out there causing trouble and stuff.
I did have to pay a guy one time. I'm not going to tell the story now because it's going to go too long, but
okay.
It involved me siphoning gas out of a tractor and, gas in your mouth. Anyway.
Oh, no.
What were we supposed to talk about? Customer service?
Customer service that turned into sharing some highs and lows. Well, no lows, but highs from this week. I don't really have a low. And then, which is our podcast for this week.
So what other, since there's I don't even know what I'm going to title this. We're going to call it Education Chapter Gone Bad or something. Anyway, go ahead.
No, want to reiterate again, because I kind of did last week when we did our little AZ88 audio thing.
I got 5 stars on iTunes podcast.
That's awesome. I love it.
Anyway, I keep interrupting. I'm really sorry.
No, it's okay. No, guys, keep it coming. I love the feedback. I love the excitement. I talked to Ben, a guy named Ben in Dallas yesterday for a long time, had a great conversation about our package and what's coming up. And he was, into the podcast and a lot of great stuff. And I just I feel bad saying, hang in there, guys, but it's going to be really, really good. And we've got some special things that are up our sleeves, and it's going to be worth it in the end. I promise. You will fall over when you see not only what we share in the package, but the package itself and the production quality, which is going to be movie production quality. Thank you, Stephen.
Yeah. Oh man, now I gotta. Yeah. Don't make them expect anything.
All right, but anyway, it's going to be off the charts. You're going to fall over, and we want the feedback. So please keep it coming. I love it. I love that everyone. How do I say this in a I love that what we're trying to convey to you all is that we are real people, and this is really what we do. We're not going to stop doing this. This is our business. We're growing our business with our package and all of our future students / customers, and how we're all going to grow together. That's the whole thing. And from what I like talking to Ben, it's coming across, and I appreciate that, and thank you all, and please hang in there.
Is this the email that the guy sent where he's laying in bed showing this stuff to his wife?
Yes.
Jill, just tell us the whole thing, because this is classic stuff. Tell us.
It's great.
And use our competitors' first names, please.
Oh, okay. So,
Like tell the story like you're just like you told it to me yesterday.
oh, well, I just got this great call from Ben in HR in Dallas, and I have I made some notes here, and I went back and found an email Ben had sent me last week that I hadn't got back to him yet, so I replied to him after we talked yesterday. Great conversation, kind of told me his background, where he's coming from. He's got a full-time gig in HR. He's got kids, 3 kids. He had done a rental property. Well, he flipped a house, but it was funny because he told me the great story is it was a flip that meant to be a quick flip that ended up being a 3-year flip because the way that the whole transaction went down and ended up seriously, it didn't.
I'm sitting in a 5-year flip right now.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's
I'm
hilarious.
sitting in our 5-year flip.
Well, there is that. That's true. So yeah,
I'll
but he
tell that
didn't live
story
in
another
it.
time.
He didn't.
I know it's. I mean, we turned it
We
into
didn't
our
use it as an
office.
office. I mean, yeah, it's hilarious. He ended up being a rental property, and then the money he made, by the way, when he eventually sold it, had to go into repairs from the people who rented it and the damage that they did. So it just ended up being a mess. So poor guy. I mean, he's trying to do everything right, and it just didn't work out.
Yeah.
So basically he found us through looking at other ways to do it in other real
Right.
estate transactions, and so just had so many great things to say. He found us through Seth, which we all love. Seth, I don't know
Yeah.
if you guys, everybody knows Seth.
Yep.
So I know you know Seth. So, and he,
retipster.com.
yes,
retipster.com.
thank you.
Seth's an awesome guy.
Seth is great. So yeah, and he
Doubled each other's traffic.
did is great. So yeah, thank you, Seth. You got
Web
thanks
traffic.
to you. Ben found us, and it was awesome. Well, and Ben found us because he was looking at Mark's package.
Mark, our competitor. Mark,
Mhm.
our first student who became a competitor.
Exactly, and Ben figured that out, and I'm super impressed. He basically told me the story of us, and he was 100% right.
What's our story? What is our story?
Well, just that he did his homework. I mean, he can tell. All right, I can see where you guys have been, and I can see the mark where Mark came from, and the
Oh,
direction Mark has gone, and the direction we've gone, and it's a little bit different. And
Jill, you're so sweet.
I
You're
am.
such a customer service. Just I say this, I say this with compassion. It's just you. I would describe this so differently.
Well, that's hey everyone.
It's
That's
a compliment.
service. Thank you. Well, if it's one thing that I learned way back, not that, it, I was at American Airlines for a number of years, and it was very easy for people to bring up the competition. And I learned a long time ago, you never put down the
Oh
competition.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You never say anything
No,
negative
no.
because it just
I don't
makes you
even
look
think
bad.
anything negative of it. Yeah,
Oh, and you know what? And there's always going to be good, bad about everybody. I mean, people would come to me and say all kinds of terrible things about American Airlines. Trust me, there's going to be
yeah.
something, and you just learn how to whatever it is, fix it, handle it a professional way,
Yeah.
and it doesn't get any better than that. And then,
Right.
people will come back. I've had some really bad customer service experiences, seriously, at American Airlines. You wouldn't believe the people, in my face physically,
Uh,
mad at me, and the next thing you know, we're hugging at the end, and they're
yeah.
my best friend. And
Right.
and it's really because of how I handled it and took care of it.
Sure.
And you listen to them, and that's something I didn't put in the thing I'll have to put in there is when you do have, it's a good customer service thing. When you do have upset people, listen to them, take a moment, take a step
Hmm.
back, whatever their gripe is, it's valid to them, and you need to listen and handle it,
Hmm.
and solve the problem. And that's a whole different story. But sorry, I got off the track. To what was I talking about? I was talking about Ben.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So sorry. That was awful. I'm so sorry. So you want to cut that? Was that awful?
No, it's
Okay.
funny.
Okay. So back to Ben. So Ben's telling me about he's doing his research, figured us out. It was so cool. Hey, there's the gardener again behind you. Anyway, so
Did he wave this time?
no, he didn't wave. So anyway, he was just having so much fun. watching our videos, and he's like finding some of our stuff, that some of our postings, and that, some of the videos that we do for our eBay when we're selling property. And he was kind of making a joke at you, Stephen, because
Yeah.
he caught that I and our staff tell you that your videos sometimes get a little long-winded.
Yeah.
So Ben said, "Yeah, I was laying in bed actually." I said, "Hey, he's showing his wife in bed one of your videos," and she, after a few minutes, said, "Do I have to keep watching now? Because we're not going to buy that, right?" He's like, "No, no, we're all good." So we had a good laugh about you because
Yeah.
she got bored. So,
It's not the first time that someone's been in bed and bored with me.
oh, that was
That we're probably
good.
going to cut.
Wow.
I mean, what am I supposed to say if you just open it up like that?
Wow. I
There's like five other things I could say, like someone else's wife is bored with me in bed. I mean, there's like six things I could say.
oh, okay. Well, maybe you need to up your customer service.
I'm not saying it's their fault. I take full responsibility for my actions.
Okay, new topic. I'm gonna start. Wow.
Listen, you told me that story yesterday, and I went because I had to do all those videos for the new properties we posted.
Uh-huh.
We post on Friday because we try to get everything done on Wednesday or Thursday because we post on Friday on eBay because we always do 30-day auctions, and that Friday post gets us on a Sunday close. Does that make sense? I mean, I'm not talking to you, Jill. It's just I'm trying to
Get it
post
home.
on Friday, close on Sunday, 30 days. It's always that way, the way the calendar works. So I'm trying to get these videos done that you guys asked me to do. I go in and do these videos about the properties that we're posting to help everybody be a more informed buyer. And all throughout this video, one of the videos specifically, I said, I had this little timer and I'm showing it here. Let me get the timer. I'm showing everybody like, I'm setting a timer. It's 3 minutes. It's 2 minutes, trying to make 3-minute videos and the timer's constantly going off. So I get all done with it and I rushed through it and I went back and watched it anyway. But this guy on YouTube he subscribes to us on YouTube, emails me, or not emails me, but in the comments on YouTube says, "Why the heck does everybody want you to do a 3-minute video?" He's
Oh.
like, "It's great when you take a 9-minute video." He's like, "I'm actually gonna buy some property in Cochise County because I did this video about a month ago. I don't know if you saw it. You probably didn't. I hope you didn't. Where I drive through the streets of Bisbee, and remember that one time we went to that auction in Bisbee, and it's just a quaint little
It
you
is.
know, uh, mining town. So it's all up in a mountain, and you can kind of drive through this. It's out of a Wild West movie.
Right.
So it dawned on me that I'm very sorry, Jill, but I'm going to have to do like 6 or 7 minute videos of these things because I think people
It's all
really
good.
enjoy it.
Well, you know what? They can
I would.
always fast forward.
Well, I told this guy, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do a 2-minute version for my staff and a 10-minute version for everybody else. No, I mean,
I'll
really.
put that on there. Do you want the 2-minute video or the 10-minute video?
Right.
I love it. No, it's good. No, you get excited about it, and you should. It's good stuff.
Right.
So it's cool.
Want
All
to wrap
right.
this up with any other customer service points? Because I guess this is going to be a customer service.
Yes. Let me see if there's anything else that I want to share with everyone. I think the number one uh, point about customer service is building trust. Because
Yeah.
whether you have
Yeah.
them for one transaction or 50 transactions, once you build a relationship and trust with that person, which you can do in one phone call, seriously, you'll have them for life.
Yeah.
So, and that doesn't get any better than that. And that's the beauty of it. My A-list, I know that my A-list is going to be 100 people and it's going to be 200 people. It's growing right now. I mean, it really
Right.
is pretty big. I'm I didn't do it so well in the past, and I'm
Yeah.
now taking the time to do it. So going forward, I'm telling everybody do this.
Yeah.
When you establish a relationship with somebody and you can tell they really are a serious investor, you just don't have the right property for them right now, but you guys have a relationship, take notes on what they want. Keep a little spreadsheet going. That's what I
Mm-hmm.
do. I've got their name, their email address, their phone number,
Yep.
and I have it down to what state they like, what county
Mm-hmm.
they like, if there's a certain size that they
This
like.
is great advice. All of it.
It is. I just have a little spreadsheet, and I'll go back to that. Go, I think I remember somebody, like right now, I'm in Oklahoma one, that I remember a guy 2 months ago saying, I really want
Yeah.
Oklahoma. Well, I got something I just kind of came in, I'm working on right now, and I need
Mm-hmm.
to hit this guy up and say, is this something you're looking at? And it can easily be an options deal,
Yeah.
and how easy for me, you
That's
know?
that 5 acres in Oklahoma from that older woman, right?
Yes,
You know,
Latimer.
about every 10th, no, about every 20th property we buy, I have that blip of a thought to keep it, because I did the maps on that too, and
Right.
I would love to go see that property in person and see what it's all about.
Exactly.
So I
So that,
successfully interrupted you again.
no, it's good stuff. No, really good stuff.
So yeah, keep an A list, keep a detailed A list.
Detailed A list.
You know, we were running through this whole thing for the package. The thing that sticks out in my mind about customer service module is how different you have to handle each environment that you're selling in. And I don't want to make this sound like it's very difficult for new people or anything like that. New students and people getting into the business. There's not a ton of stuff that you have to really remember. But I think one of the points that you made was eBay customers are different than LandWatch customers, are different than people who buy stuff off of our website.
Yep.
So I'm going to give the 15-second version, and then I would love because you're on the front lines, I would love to hear your opinion.
Okay.
By the time they get to our website, if they buy something off of our website, they're asking us for our wire information. They don't have any more questions about the property. They've done all their homework. We've established their trust. Like that property in Washington State that girl bought, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, she wired us the money, and it was over. And she's like, "Just let me know. I'm ready to buy the education package when you release it."
Yep.
I mean, it was what 3-minute phone call.
Exactly.
LandWatch is a little more complicated. There's some questions, and then there's eBay, which I think is a more complicated and challenging customer service environment. What do you think?
Yes, I think, like you said, I'm gonna go in order like you just did. The by the time they get to the website, yeah, they've done all their homework. It's pretty done. They know who they are. They're sought us out for a reason, and they're really serious about investing.
Right.
Yeah, the land watch, I get a lot of it generates a lot of activity, which is great. A lot of people find properties on land watch, which is great, and it drives them to my website, and it drives them,
Yeah.
and then they find Land Academy through that. It's a great way to meet people and stuff. So I know that there's some stuff that has come from that, but it's not quickly. Yeah, I guess they're a little more seasoned if they're on land watch.
Right.
They're not just shopping. And then I come down to eBay. eBay is like some of the customers, it's almost like they're searching for this, they're looking at investing in this, they're looking at investing in that. Oh, look, you can buy land on eBay. I feel that's how it happens. And then they come to me and I'm like, oh gosh. So and don't don't discount these people. Just be ready for these people, because sometimes you feel you get a little tired of answering the same question. You know what? You are going to answer the same question all the time. So make yourself a little cheat sheet too,
Yeah.
which I've done, where you can just cut and paste, canned responses into your little eBay thing, customize it for them, and then, because you never know.
Yeah.
So you really don't
yeah.
know. But just be prepared. A lot of them are going to ask some questions that you wouldn't normally get. Sometimes, I even dance. Some of them ask me some questions that are right in the posting, but they didn't know you have to scroll down to get the answer. So I really politely say, actually it's there in the posting, and here you go. Here are the GPS coordinates. Just stuff like that. And so you have to hold their hand a little bit more, but it's okay.
I had a guy a lot of years ago say this always stuck with me. He said, he called me, because back then we didn't put our phone number in anything. When I started this, we didn't have a phone number. I intentionally left. I had like my home phone number.
Okay.
And this is before cell phones, or before I had a cell phone anyway, like in the 90s. And this guy found it. It took him some digging, but he found my phone number. He called me and said, look, I don't want to bug you, but I just want to know there's somebody on the other end of this transaction.
Mm-hmm.
They just want to, they want to get a
Sure.
feeling, maybe that's what a lot of what customer service is. It's a feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And if they have a good feeling, then you kind of have them for life. If they don't get a good feeling, like, man, if you call a phone company or you call a cell company and you get some of this overseas, I can't understand what they're saying. What message is that sending?
Try calling eBay.
We
Good
can't-
luck. They've made it even
don't bite,
harder.
bite that hand that feeds
I
us too
know.
hard.
But anyway, try calling B of A.
Bank of America, yeah.
There you go. But some of them, I interrupted you. Sorry.
No,
I
it's just a feeling. That's it.
It
That was
is.
my whole point.
Well, here's another thing. Some people communicate really well on the phone. Some people communicate really well in person. Some people communicate, really well writing. So maybe figure out what's your best way too. For me personally, talking on the phone. That's my thing. When I can
Yeah,
talk to somebody and they can hear me, feel me, know I'm a
yeah,
real person. I'm just relaxed, having fun. Ask me anything. You know, the, it disarms a lot of people
yeah,
that might be a little cautious about us. And so I guess one of the things when you start building your business, figure out what's your best way of communicating, I guess, and go with that. But
yeah.
if you can talk on the phone with people, that's I think the best. If you're good at it.
Yeah, I mean, you're not so bad on the camera either, Joe.
Thank you
And
very
I think that a lot of
much.
that, this is all kidding aside, it was an unintended consequence of starting Land Academy because we didn't do a lot of, we ended up selling a lot more property. We are selling a lot more property because of Land Academy, because I think we're building people's trusts by whatever the heck we burned an hour doing here just now.
I don't know.
I guess, I guess they like it. I don't know.
You know what it is? Because we're telling real world, honest,
It's the
true
truth.
stories of our transactions. We're not making up numbers.
Hmm. Yeah,
And everybody can do this.
right.
It's not that hard. You just have to know there's a lot of pieces to the puzzle. How's that? And like we've said how many times over and over again, we've been doing it since 99. You've been doing it since 99. I came along much
Well,
later. If you had this manual, who knows where you'd be
oh,
by now, right? So
well,
now we are sharing this manual so everybody can you can catch up, fast forward 15 years, right? Have all the knowledge right here.
yeah,
Now go kill it. And by
right,
the way, you need some help, you need some deals to get going with. All right, then call me at
right.
Landstay. I'll get you some inventory to work with. And with the package, it's great. Is that okay?
Of course, it's fantastic. I mean, have you guys worked out how to give away a free property with every package yet?
Did you say that?
I'm just asking you. I want to see your response.
Oh, did you see the look on my face?
Uh-huh.
Okay. I don't know what you're talking about.
'Cause I heard that we're going to try to give away a free property with
You
every
heard that?
package. Yeah,
Who leaked some that?
I don't know.
Oh my goodness, you're gonna have to put that in your little title here. It's like hang on to the end of this podcast because there's a huge leak
We have
at
like
the end.
we have like
Huge
a
leak.
mom and dad thing. You and I, Joe. Like when the people that work with us don't get the answer that they want from
They
you, they
go.
call me,
It's very
and
true.
vice versa.
Exactly. They
Go
do.
ask mom. Go ask dad.
They do know how to work us. That's true. Jill told me it was okay.
Yeah.
All right. And then your response is Jill says everything is okay.
So, I mean, do you think we really can give a property away? I mean, maybe not with every single package, but and still keep the price of the package okay?
I bet I bet we could do something like that. You'd be surprised. I we I bet we can do that.
Didn't you just tell me like 3 days ago that there's this deal that you got confirmation on?
Yeah.
It was like 8 properties or 10 properties?
12 properties. Thank you very much.
12 properties in Rio Grande Estates,
Hmm.
which is south of Albuquerque down the Rio Grande.
Quarter acre each.
Quarter acre each for how much are you going to buy them?
Eight
The whole
hundred
thing.
dollars. Done.
So, what is that, like $60 a property?
I don't even know. What is that? I don't.
See, we could See,
800 divided by 12. So that would be $66
you're
per
buying a
quarter
quarter acre
acre
property for
property
$66.
in an established subdivision, everyone. So, yep, that's exactly right.
How many back taxes are on there? We'll check. I can check.
No, they're
We'll check it out.
current.
The taxes are
That's
current.
part of my deal. That's part of my, I'm like, as long as the A, B, C, and D are true, this is what I'm gonna offer.
See, we
And
could give those away.
I did that in email too. The guy just emailed me. I wasn't really sure. I said, I threw out a number via email, and he wrote back and said yes.
Wow. You know, the real question is not can we give it away and afford it. The question is how much money are we giving away? Like, look, we can sell those on the internet for RGE. I've been there for Rio Grande Estates. I've been there a million times. I probably sell them for $700 each, maybe 1,000. Let's just say 1,000. So that's
That's not crazy.
$800, $800 that you're spending to make 12,000. So if we gave them all away, how
Well,
much
I'm
money-
looking at that's what I'm looking at for whoever gets this. So say that's what you got. You just got a nice quarter acre estate to play with in your package, and we're going to help you show you how to advertise it, get it up there, market it, whatever, and you can sell it for $600 tomorrow cash, or sit on it for a month or two, who knows, and make 1,000. I don't know. I mean, how great is that for somebody?
Right. Yeah, it would recover the whole. It would recover the whole cost of the package or
Maybe.
a substantial part of it.
Exactly.
And
Maybe.
yeah, you know what? I like where this is going.
And you got that. You're a head start. You have a head start on this whole thing too. So, and I'm going to make them in a good way. For example, my people who I've been giving away free properties now and then on Land Stay. If anybody doesn't know that,
Yeah.
make sure you're in that loop. So keep an eye on that. Watch me on Facebook and all that good stuff. If you go like me everywhere, you'll be in the loop. So one of the things I do, because most of the people, though, they are wanting to learn this business. They're either, most of them are new to wholesaling, and they're getting into this stuff, like this eBay guy. So I send them the completed deed with recording instructions so they can learn how to do this. So here's my letter. This is, as you my customer, even though I'm giving it to you free, I'm pretending you're my customer. Here's what the letter I send you. Here's the recording instructions. I want you to go record it.
I didn't even think about
It's
that.
$25, whatever. So you know how to do this now. So, and they are like, great, thank you.
I didn't even think about the whole process of actually the paperwork process.
So I'm
That's
not just going
brilliant.
to say a property's in your name like you just got a certificate or something.
Right.
You got to go put it in your name. I'm signing you the deed, and here's the recording instructions. Now you get to mail it to the county. You're the one that wants to learn how to do this. I'm going to teach you and help you, and you're going to get the deed back, and now you're going to understand how the process goes.
Yeah.
So
It's like anything. You're concerned about it until you do it, and then you ask yourself what you were so concerned about. There's no big deal, and that whole paperwork piece of this is. When I started, I was concerned about this paperwork piece. Am I going to do it wrong? Are they going to send it back? What's going to happen with the county? Is the county going to hate me forever if I make a mistake? And you and I both know now. It's like we're friends with the people at the county. They know us by name, and we all laugh about it together. If there is a mistake, I don't remember. We got some stuff sent back from California a few times.
Oh yeah, I have some even better mistakes that I put in the customer service thing you're gonna laugh about.
In the customer service, like in the DVD package.
Yeah, I put an example in there. I thought about this exact topic about getting to know people at the county and working with them and how to own up to your mistakes and that kind of thing. So in a nutshell, I'll give you the gist of it. I sold a property to one of our A-list guys, and just as it was going back to the county, it was
for taxes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So I had to go get it back from the county because I sold it to this guy. It was one of many, and somehow we'd had this one for so long, and I had to go I had to work my way up the ladder at the county to get to the right person and just basically said, I screwed up. I need this one back. And it was, okay, the board meeting's going to be next month. She totally hooked me up. It was the funniest thing. And I got it all
Wow.
back, and I was funny. I told the guy, I'm like, this one, I'm going to need a few extra. I'm gonna need a little more time to get this one transferred over, and he's one of my top guys. He's like, okay, whatever, I don't care. So, you know what? It cost me more than I wanted to. I had to spend some money to get it back. I
Yeah.
didn't make it that much money on the transaction. I made some, but you know what? I did the right thing. I made plenty of money on the other ones. Everybody was fine. It was good. It was a little extra work, and it was so darn funny. But so, yeah, we make mistakes too now and then.
Did they give you special treatment?
Yeah,
Or
she
did they?
did.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
just that's I love that.
Well, and I don't even know if that woman necessarily knew me because she was in a whole different role. She doesn't do recording and everything. She was the one that handles the board meetings
She's
at the
board of
county.
supervisors. She's a clerk
Yeah.
of the board, right?
Yes.
Because once the property, I talk about this in the DVD package at the different departments in the county. But out west here, I'm not sure about out east, but out west, the board of supervisors, once the property goes back to the county for back taxes, the treasurer and the assessor are out. Everybody thinks the treasurer handles it,
Yeah.
but it doesn't. It's the board of supervisors, the clerk of the. It really falls on the clerk of the board, which is like a secretarial type position with a heck of a lot of responsibility, in my opinion. So, you probably talk to the clerk of the board.
Yep. I befriended her.
She's got some power, man.
Totally. Oh yeah.
She controls
I
like
mean,
millions and millions of dollars worth of land.
yes. I overnighted stuff to her, my payment, however she whatever she did, I did
Yeah.
it right away. I followed up with her. She said, "All right, we're meeting next Tuesday or whatever day it was, just a couple months ago. I'll take care of it." And she was so nice too, by the way. When it ended up getting resolved and done, she called me to let me know it's all done. And what name do you want me to put the property in? I was so
Wow.
really, I didn't even have to put it into our name to transfer it
See,
to that guy. I said, you
you
know
know,
what? Will you put it right into this name, which was my buyer? And it was
yeah.
just like done. And it was like, oh,
This
that
is what
was so
this just
nice.
is a perfect example of exactly what topic is about, the customer service. If she didn't have a good feeling about you, or if you're ordering around and treating her like, some version of a secretary or something like that, she would have never done that stuff. She would have
It's true.
she would have tossed your stuff aside
Yep.
and not processed it at all.
Said, sorry, you're too late. She could have
Yeah.
done that. Yeah. So, yeah, she saved me on that. That was so nice.
I bought a bunch of properties in New Mexico not that long ago, a few years ago, in one county, one specific county. And I was there taking pictures and stuff, so I stopped in to see the county recorder, the actual person. And I stopped in and I brought like roses and cake and candy and stuff. And man, those people,
That's
that whole department. Does that in the chapter? Did you put that in there?
It is.
That
Yes.
they never forget you.
Nope.
They'll never forget $12 worth of pastries.
We're doing this whole chapter, you realize right now.
Well, the actual chapter really should be a lot shorter than this, and
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, it's all
Should
good.
it be? I don't know.
Nah, we'll get into all this and more, I promise. Because as you and I start talking, we're going to have even more stuff to say about it. I have some other things too that's really, really good to share.
The
So,
point is, customer service is incredibly important. I've over the years, long before you got here, I didn't give it the respect and the attention that it needed at times, but those times were different. I relied on price, and that worked for only so long. You really have to take it seriously.
you know what, Stephen? Look at it this way. You screwed it all up and you still did fantastic.
Screw it. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Thanks. I screwed it all up.
You know what I mean. Think about how much you could have even made. Just kidding. No, it's all
hilarious.
good. So, yep. I love it. All right, we're going on an hour now.
Yeah, and I have so
I
much
have so
work
many
to do.
calls to make.
All right. Jill, thank you so much for joining us as always,
welcome.
and we'll pick this up probably next week.
Okay.
Hopefully a much different and more brief topic.
Let me know when we want to actually do this whole chapter, by the way.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks. Good to see you.
Bye.
Bye.